We did our video on National Geographic's World's Deadliest Animals. This specific one was about Asia, and the guy that was narrating the entire video had a very thick, heavy British accent.
Largest and most populated continent on the planet. Its cultures and traditions are as varied as its terrain.
Okay, so the first question is, how does dialect impact our perception of the communicator? I would say that after watching the video, he sounded like he knew a lot about what he was talking about, and he wasn't just like pulling it out of nowhere. It made it sound legit and not just like he was making it all up.
Yes, it definitely did sound rehearsed and practiced, especially with the certain animals' names, like certain snakes or sharks.
You know, like the pronunciation of it was really good. And also the way he articulated those words, he didn't really stumble or fumble along it, and like I did, which is actually really impressive because when a lot of people do stuff like that, especially when you see it live, then it's like, oh, well, okay, they're messing up the words a little bit, like, you know, he didn't have any ums or uhs in there, so when it came to like that sort of presentation aspect of it, it was really good.
Yeah, I think he sounded pretty professional.
If you had to put a face to his voice, how do you think that man would look?
James Bond, 100%.
James Bond?
James Bond. But the accent, he really did sound like he was intelligent. He was using very proper wording and how he was describing everything. Like he enunciated clearly.
So the next question is, how is jargon used?
I would say I didn't notice any jargon
Yeah.
in this narration.
Yeah.
Again, it was just very professional.
He
And
definitely used very professional languages, pronounced every single syllable of every word correctly.
like I couldn't even pronounce some of the words he was saying.
Yeah, the thing is that because this video is like made for like a mass audience, you want to use something that everybody could understand. So the best way to do that is like to not use any form of jargon at all. And so that way you're just using proper, clear English. Everyone, even regardless of whether they use jargon or not, because they're aware of the art, you have that, they all understand it. So it's like, okay, just don't use any of those terms, and everyone should still understand the general meaning of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I definitely didn't hear any slang or jargon throughout the entire video. He, again, sounded pretty professional to me.
The next question is, can you think of other examples of how accent or dialect impacts your ability to understand other communicators?
Another communicator? Okay. So I think this relates, pretty funny story, is I have a pretty thick accent compared to a lot of people. And one of my friends online, when I was playing a video game with him, he could not understand because of my accent and my dialect. He had no clue what I was saying because he was from pretty far up north. And it was pretty funny the first few times we like hung out and played video games. So.
Mine personally, like I said earlier, with my family and my culture, because I'm a first generation American, I have family from the Philippines and Haiti, and so the way they talk is like they really focus on the way they articulate the words, and they won't move on in the sentence until they get the word completely right. So whenever I like stutter or something like that, I will not move on. I'll like go back to the word and then finish it and go on, which makes for really awkward conversation. But we just work with it. People understand, like, oh, that's just part of it.
Because that's how you get your message across.
Exactly. We have to get every single word in because we don't want to have there be like a discrepancy. And
Miscommunication.
exactly. And then it's like, oh, okay. Well, they heard one thing, we meant another one because that's how it works with the accent. You don't want to mislead anybody.
Something every college student knows about is a professor with a really heavy accent that you
Our
can't
physics
understand.
professor.
That you just have no clue what they're talking about, and that definitely affects your performance in that class.
Yes.
Because if you can't understand them, you're not going to do well.
Verbal communication in any classroom is key.
Another question is, what steps did you take to ensure understanding?
You didn't have to take a lot of steps to understand.
Yeah, he was
Like-
very clear. It wasn't like a hard accent to where you
Yeah.
couldn't understand what he was saying.
Yeah, it was very fluid, and I mean, I personally don't feel like there was any difficulty understanding. because I mean, everything he said just was very, very, very rehearsed, and you could tell that time was put into this. Like he was talking, he had a mission. He's doing what he needs to do to clearly lay out the information that he's been given.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it is his job to narrate. He is a narrator for a living. And when he is behind the mic, he is talking with such dialect and such pronunciation that he knows how to pronounce every single word correctly because of repetition.
And he doesn't mumble either, and that makes it easier to understand what he's saying and hear what he's saying to get his message across. Whereas if he was mumbling, you wouldn't understand him as well, or he wouldn't get his message across.
Right. They really just chose like the right voice for the part. Like it was steady. It had like a set tempo to it. Like it was just smooth and direct. So like the way he articulated everything was perfect. Like unlike me, like there's like I said, it's very like clear. And, like the way he spoke, the way he sounded, it was just great for the video.
Just a professional tone overall.
Exactly.
I mean, he definitely put like emphasis on things. Like
Right.
he was talking about the snake and how it was like one of the deadliest snakes in Asia. And he was like, now the venom, and like he put enunciation and accent on it to
Right.
let you know that like it's an important part of the show. Like important information's coming up.
Right.
I think that's just as important as him being easy to understand.
Its fangs stretch up to 27 millimeters. A hemotoxic venom flows from the viper's glands through hollow fangs, causing massive internal bleeding.
Exactly. But that just wasn't like his overall tone. Like he
Yeah.
changed the tone at the right times. So like, oh, this
I
is
definitely
going more of
saw
a
that.
serious informational part thing. Oh, but I want you to pay attention to this type of thing. So I'm gonna emphasize this on a little bit. Like I'm probably gonna roughen up my articulation of this. So everyone knows that, oh, maybe we should pay a little bit more attention to this part, and then he goes back to the basic information about certain things.
Yeah, I definitely feel like the more dry, toned down, serious tone really helped get the fear of these creatures kind of like larger than life.
Like I was honestly like, if I saw one of these, I would probably run because just from how
I would definitely
intense he made all the
kill me.
animals sound.
It's also a good combination between his voicing and the music that they have played, because music also helps in the background too. Like, oh, you know, of course it's going to be a little bit darker, probably slower music when it comes to something that's especially dangerous compared to the other animals. And when you do that, it's like, oh, okay, that stimulates your mind that, hey, this is dangerous.
How does culture come into play?
Yes, I definitely feel like he was reaching out to the more, the more broad culture and demographic that he's focusing on is people in America and people in Europe to kind of see the other side of the world, pretty much. So, the people on that side of the people in Asia, they kind of already seen those animals. They kind of already know what's there. We don't.
Yeah.
So this was kind of aimed at us for our culture.
Right, and I think like big culture of the audience it comes into play a lot because as Americans, typically we see British people as very proper and very professional, like we said before. But British people probably don't see themselves as that. They probably see like somebody else as proper or as like they probably see probably not Americans, but just because they just changed their language a lot. Well, I don't know, maybe like Russians. I don't know how they view professionalism, but we obviously couldn't see the narrator. But
I think that did play a big part.
yeah,
Not being able to see what he looked like.
But the thing is too is that if we did, like I can imagine this person wearing a suit because
Yeah,
clothing
that's
culture,
how I imagine.
yeah,
Yeah.
like definitely.